Professor James D.J. Brown is an international affairs expert and is now joining us live from Tokyo. Hi, James. Welcome to WION. China says its arsenal is dwarfed by those of the United States and Russia and added that it is ready for dialogue, but only if Washington reduces its nuclear stockpile to China's levels. Do you think the United States will compromise?
Well, I think that's very unlikely. And unfortunately, at the moment, tensions internationally are so high that rather than this being an era for reducing the number of nuclear weapons, it's very likely that the countries will continue to increase them. So I think rather than the US coming down to China's levels, instead we're more likely to see China continuing to catch up and to join that exclusive group of the United States and Russia of having thousands rather than hundreds of nuclear weapons.
James, Chinese...
All right, Shalom. This is Harawan Banyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Ka Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, By Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. As you see here, the topic is China is increasing their nuclear warhead stockpile, all right, as spoken of in the scriptures. And not only China, but Russia, Iran, North Korea, Syria, all these nations are ramping up and increasing their nuclear warhead stockpile in preparations for war with the U.S., all right, Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. Now, the hope of Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, is to downplay China's escalation. All right, they want to downplay it. They keep saying, yeah, they got about 1,500 warheads. They got more than that. Yeah, well, they have about 2035. They're gonna do it quicker than that, and they're gonna move faster as this turns into more of a hot war, less of a proxy war, into a full head-on nuclear power war. The age of deterrence, ever since World War II, 1938, really to about 1945, the age of deterrence. The U.S. was able to deter Russia and China from attacking Europe and attacking America and attacking NATO countries because of their nuclear deterrence. They can deter them from doing that. But then you had, from that time of World War II, it was called the nuclear age. Ever since then, you had Russia on the scene testing nukes since the 1950s. America was doing it way earlier, 1920s, 1930s. But then Russia started ramping up their nuclear arsenals around the 1950s. So they became the two powerhouses on the earth with nuclear deterrence. But the difference is Russia can shoot their ICBMs, their intercontinental ballistic missiles, straight from home base. America had to use subs or other means to get the missiles over to their areas, or the different parts of the earth. So now you have China ramping up theirs, their nuclear warhead stockpile. And this is all prophecy, man. And it's gonna move quick as they begin to fight over Taiwan. As I said years ago, they're doing land grabs. Everybody grabbing what lands is going to be theirs. They're fighting over it. It's all prophecy, man. So what America's hope is that they're going to push off and upset the prophecies. All right? So it's an age of deterrence. So now China is hoping to, if it builds up its stockpile of nuclear warheads, making it a nuclear power on the earth, just like Russia and America. By doing so, they hope to deter America away from Taiwan. So they're going to move quick. As the issues increase, as the entanglements increase, as the wars increase, the threats of wars, the wars and rumors of wars, they're going to increase their stockpile of weapons. All right, so ever since World War II, Russia has been building up their technology, their military, right, and their missiles. And they've been able, they said for about 10 years, they've been building it up. All the way up until now, all the way to about 2021, 2020, they started revealing all their missiles, the Invincible missile, the Vanguard, nuclear-powered missiles that can travel all around the world without stopping, that could evade any defense. Right? So 1991, Russia's building up of their stockpile, and the military stopped. It came to an abrupt halt because the European powers helped to financiers like George Soros. They call him the destroyer of nations. They invested so much money into stopping Russia and destroying what was called the Soviet Union in 1991. So since then, 2016, when you had the Brexit, because of the fall of Soviet Union, that increased the European Union, the dragon. 2016, the Brexit goes into Daniel chapter 2, the 10 toes. When it got weakened, that strengthened the bear, Russia. And the Lord turned them back into being that old Soviet Union again. Right, wanting those areas back. They want Crimea back. They want Ukraine back. They want all those areas back. Doing land grabs. See that? So that's what this is about. So let's get into this article and see where the Spirit takes us dealing with prophecy. Because that's what we're in. We're in a time of prophecy. And that's how you know the men of the Lord. IUIC is not talking about this, You don't hear ISUPK talking about stuff like this. The Spirit of the Lord is the spirit of prophecy, because that's what this is about. It's prophecy and the spirit of truth, man. All right, so let's get into this topic. It says the U.S.-China tensions, man. China is known as Moab in the scriptures. All right? The Moabites. And they got a missile called Moab. It says China to possess 1,500 nuclear warheads by 2035. See, American elites always talking about 2030 and 2035. That's their plan. They want the new world order in place by 2030. But they don't control nothing, man. It's about the Lord's timing. It's about the Most High's judgment. All right, and the Lord has what? This is Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So the Lord has the bounds, the increasing of these nations, their power, their rulership in the earth, all according to the children of Israel, man. The Lord is long suffering and waited for the fruit, the righteous fruit of the earth, which is the elect. The 144, that's the timing. All right. Once the elect are sealed, the prophecy is going to move quick. Their stockpile is going to increase. They all of a sudden going to get these ideas how to move it faster. The Most High going to put it into their mind. All right. So their bounds, their increasing is only for our chastisement. That chastisement is ended. Once it's ended, and the elect are woken up, it's sealed, that war gonna kick off. It's not according to, oh, you get 1,500, oh, they got 1,600. They want to slow it down. They moving fast. China and Russia, they're moving quick. All right, so let's get some scripture. It says here, Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision, see the prophecy is yet for an appointed time, man. There's an appointed time, just like in World War I and World War II. Those are appointed moments that was a pivot and a change and a course towards in a direction straight to war. So those prophecies could happen according to Revelations. The first woe, the second woe. Now it's time for the third woe. The Lord said, what? The third woe cometh quickly. It says, what? For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, okay? And not lie, man. This is truth right here. Though it tarry, wait for it. Because it will surely come, it will not tarry. See that? The Lord gonna shorten the time and get his elect out of here. All right. So let's read this article a little bit. It says China to possess 1,500 nuclear warheads by 2035, Pentagon reports. Right, because the scriptures speak about this war being a war of fuel of fire. You know? Fuel of fire, man. That's a nuclear war. Nuclear enrichment. You know? So, it says U.S. sees Beijing developing the ability to deter and defeat intervention in Taiwan. So they got the U.S. sees China as developing the ability, man. They're getting stronger. Let's get that. There you go. This is Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3. Verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, man. So among the nations, this is being proclaimed. All right? Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. They preparing for war, man. Prepare war. Prepare war, man. That's what they're doing, preparing for war. Also, according to Ezekiel 38, they're all preparing for war. That's it. This is a time of war. Wake up the mighty men. All the generals, like Russia got the damn guy that looked like Dr. Evil and shit. They call him, I forgot what his name is, man. General Destruction, some shit. That general that they started showing off a few weeks ago that only deals with nuclear war. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, man. So the plowshare, this is what a plowshare is. Let me get this real quick. It says the plowshare, all right? I think in the Hebrew it'd be ath, ath, or atha. This is also translated coulter, all right? A plowshare also means like coulter, something you would dig with, something with a point on it. You use it for development of agriculture, all right? What you build up for war, the money that you would put into your agricultural means would decrease, all right? They put more into farming, they would be more open and vulnerable against the threat from other nations. So what these nations are doing now, they're preparing for war. They're stockpiling their defense, their deterrence. So it says here, the coulter, the plowshare, is often used to symbolize creative tools that benefit humankind. But the Lord said what? He created the waster to destroy. The waster is created to destroy. It's not going to sit. The waster, the ICBMs, is not made to grow flowers. All right? It's a creative tool, creative. And the Lord said he created the smith that blew up the coals in the fire, and they brought forth the waster to destroy. You know, weapon of his indignation. Creative tools that benefit humankind. That's a plowshare. As opposed to destructive tools of war. Symbolized by the sword, man. That's what the sword is made for, to destroy. A similar sharp metal, all right, I think it's karab, all right, karab, which means sword. A similar sharp metal tool with an arguable opposite use, man. Whew. So the missiles are for opposite use, meaning they destroy everything. All right. So let me get this. Okay, this is a description of the damage besides the lake of fire that the missiles are going to cause, and the earth shaking to and fro. Joel 2:3, a fire devoureth before them, man. See that? When they're going through the heavens and the elements, there's a fire before them, right? As you see on Russia's examples that they show, the missiles be burning through the elements. That way it looks like stars in the sky. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. That's the nuclear propulsion. All right, so, and all it's going to leave is what? Fire. It's all about fire, man. That's the Lord's judgment. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, right? Everything looks normal and untouched when a missile's in the sky. And behind them, a desolation, a desolate wilderness, man. Once they land, it's going to turn into a desert. All right? That's the power that these ICBM missiles, nuclear fire has, man. And the winds, that's going to scatter everything. And the nuclear fallout. It says, and what? Nothing shall escape. Nothing shall escape them. All right? The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. They're going to be controlled with AI technology, artificial intelligence, like drones. It's a whole different time period, man. They're going to be in formation. Because that's what they said. Not only are they increasing their stockpile of missiles, but they're increasing their drones, then they're increasing their delivery options, meaning through drones, submarines, and satellites that can guide these missiles. That's part of what they're increasing in this article. But I'm not gonna read that. I may read all the way down, but let's keep reading. So yeah, these missiles, it's like a garden of Eden before these missiles hit, but after they land anywhere, it's gonna turn into a desert. And whatever it hits, nothing shall escape that. I don't care how much they dig in the bunkers or whatever. You know, the bow of steel shall strike them through. It says China to possess 1,500 nuclear warheads by 2035. Pentagon reports. You know, pocket watching and shit. That's what Pentagon doing. Let's go back over to Joel 3 and 9. It says what? Beat your plowshares, Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares into swords. All right, so they're pulling away from their agricultural, increasing their agricultural means. Instead, they're building up their means of war, their technology, and they're stockpiling. It's called a nuclear arms race. And it says what? And you're pruning hooks into spears, man. All right, those are missiles. And the warheads. Let the weak say, I am strong. That's what the U.S. That's what China and North Korea are doing. They're saying they're strong in Iran. That's the Most High increasing them for the Judgment Day. The U.S. sees, they're watching it. They seeing it like, oh shit. They see Beijing developing the ability to deter and defeat intervention in Taiwan. That makes them stronger. Let the weak say I'm strong. All right. It says vehicles carrying JL-2 submarine launched ballistic missiles drive past Tiananmen Square, during a Beijing military parade. Reuters. Washington, this is from Washington. China's nuclear arsenal will grow to 1,500 warheads by 2035. They don't know that. It's an estimate. It's going to be sooner than that, I'm sure, and it's going to be more warheads than that. All right. Triple its current estimated stockpile, meaning they're moving fast. Watch this. The Pentagon said on Tuesday, in its annual report on Beijing's military developments, the document called Military and Security Developments involving the People's Republic of China, said China already possessed more than 400 warheads. The U.S. Defense Department estimated that China held at least 200 in the same report 2 years ago. So they've been moving fast. See, the numbers increasing from 200 to 400 to 700 now. Now they're saying 1,500. Tuesday's report predicted the number, or the count, to reach 700 in 2027. and 1,500 in 2035, marking the first time the Pentagon has made a projection for 2035. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. All they know is these nations are increasing. There's nuclear warheads. That's all they gotta say. They're trying to slow stroll it to upset the prophecies. This is under the New START nuclear arms treaty signed with Russia. That's that whole first attack or don't attack type of agreement, And they're about to change that soon. It says the U.S. is permitted up to 1,550 nuclear warheads. See, that's the only one they know that are documented. These people got more than that, these nations. The U.S. is permitted up to 1,550 nuclear warheads on deployed intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right. The deployed submarine launched ballistic missiles and deployed heavy bombers. That's what America has. They have submarine capability with missiles and bomber capability with missiles. Russia has it so they can shoot those missiles from their land, so they got more. This means Beijing's nuclear capability could approach Washington's deployed warheads in the 2030s. Although it is difficult to draw to direct comparisons, the New START treaty is now on track to expire 2026. So that treaty gonna end in 2026 and excludes certain types of nuclear warheads. Washington's overall nuclear stockpile stood at 3,750 warheads in 2020. Come on, man, they hiding the number. They got way more missiles. The scriptures say 200 million is going to be shot. So there's going to be missiles and 200 million warheads going to be cast out of the stone bow. According to the most recent data released by the State Department, the Biden administration has urged China to engage in talks on nuclear disarmament, but Beijing has resisted, arguing that it is still behind the U.S. and Russia in terms of nuclear capability. This is a quote by the senior U.S. defense official. Now that they are kind of on the trajectory that they're on, if they continue to assert that position, it raises some questions about their intent, about China's intent. China is building up nuclear weapons that have the U.S. within range. They're baking them a cake, man. And the focus is the U.S. Just like Russia missiles, they got something called the Satan II. And its direction is, the focus of it is for America. Just like Iran, their missiles. It says Tuesday's report said China continued to construct at least 300 intercontinental ballistic missiles silos in 2021. Sheesh, they got the missile silos. That's in the scriptures, man, it speaks about the sword coming out of the belly. And that belly are those missile silos. I think it's in Job. And that it was likely developing more submarine launch ballistic missiles capable of reaching the U.S. mainland. Right? A narrowing gap between U.S. in China and Chinese capabilities could mean a higher risk of retaliation should Washington use nuclear weapons to defend its allies in the Asia Pacific region, man. All right, so they're going into this nuclear war stance, man. You know, that's what the Lord said, man. This scripture say, this war shall be with burning and fuel of fire. You know, it's not going to be your average war or regional war. It's going to be a world war. In terms of potential crisis in the Taiwan Strait, the Chinese military is aggressively developing capabilities to provide options for the PRC to dissuade, deter, or if ordered, defeat third-party intervention in the Indo-Pacific. The report said it warned that Chinese forces could try to land on Taiwan in addition to blockading the island by sea and air. China is looking for capabilities to have more credible military tools for Taiwan unification by 2027, the U.S. defense official said. So they hope China is hoping to annex, meaning take Taiwan by 2027. I'm sure it's sooner than that. All right, so yeah, man, they stockpiling. The official warned that China could ramp up pressure on Taiwan regarding the self-governed island's next presidential election in 2024. China, sooner. China and its military has historically engaged in intimidating behavior, whether they're demonization, whether sort of rhetorically or in terms of military displays leading up to such votes. The officials say, all right, now they're just rambling. So let me get some scripture. All right, this is Mark 13 and 28. It says, now learn. See, now what? Man. All right. It says, now learn the parable of the fig tree. All right. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is near, man. That's a sign that the seasons are about to change. When you see these missiles, you see the prophecies kicking off, you know things are about to change, man. The Most High is turning the page. So ye, in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done. So we was in the Roman Empire and we saw those prophecies of Vespasian and Titus, you know, and of Yahushua, we'll know that we were going into slavery. But seeing these prophecies spoken of in Revelations, and all throughout the scriptures about the end times, we know that salvation is near, and the destruction and judgment of Esau in 2/3 is close. It's even at the doors. That's why the Lord said that the generation that we're in shall not pass till all the prophecies be fulfilled within that generation. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Right? And they fall upon this earth, rulerships. But the Lord's word is going to stand the test of time. You know, and in the end, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will be the I and the Tha, the beginning and the end, the Alpha, the Omega in the Greek. Those are all the beginning and the ends of alphabets. in the Hebrew and in the Greek. But, it says, but of that day and that hour knoweth no man. So you can't let the Pentagon and these elites fool us into trying to discourage the faith of the believers and trying to upset the prophecy, saying, hey, it's not going to happen. Yeah, it ain't going to happen. You know, we're going to do it like, it might happen in 2050. But, see, we're looking for and we're hastening unto that day. How do we hasten the time? By reaching the elect, by hunting, by teaching, by prophesying in the streets, by the Spirit moving, and the courses of the river flowing. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man. No, not the angels which are in heaven, not the Pentagon, neither the Son, but the Father. All right, so Yahweh knows that day and hour. Take ye heed, watch and pray. See, we watching and we supposed to pray. Pray to the Father, man. What I usually do is, I'll share this. What I usually do in prayer is I give report, request, and then I give thanks. Usually in that order, or whatever the Spirit is at that moment when I'm praying. All right. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is, man. We just got signs of it that's getting close. We just know it's closer than what they're saying. All right. That's right. Let's get this. This is Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. See, that time that the Lord has in his mind, Yahweh. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right? Remember that? I just read that earlier. It's gonna happen. Though it seems like it's getting put off, the Lord is not slack concerning his judgment. This is Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days should be shortened. The Lord's going to shorten the time, man, for the elect's sake. Watch this. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. Right? Because if those missiles hit, man, it would destroy everybody. But the Lord has kept him a remnant of the elect. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. See, they talking about 2035, 2040. The Lord gonna shorten the time, man. He's gonna speed this thing up, especially once they push that financial collapse in the MOTB. That's make that mandatory. And they moving quick with that, man. The New World Order. So within that, the prophets, their judgment is going to increase as well. Speed up. As they move faster towards their enterprise, the New World Order, the faster the Most High is going to speed this thing up to Judgment Day. And the preparation of Ezekiel 38, you know. So the Lord's going to shorten the time, man, for his elect. He set the bounds of the nations according to the children of Israel. All right. That's right. He said, beat your plowshares into swords. And that's what these nations are doing, letting the weak say they're strong. But there you go. Revelation 9. Is it going to be thousands? No, it's going to be millions of warheads. You know, a lot of missiles that's going to carry them. There's going to be millions and millions of warheads. Revelations 9 and 16. The number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. Once you do the calculations and the math, which I've done a few times, and you can look on the page. And also the elders, Elder Apostle Hire has done many times. You do the calculation, you'll see it says 200 million. And I heard the number of them, man. So John the Revelator, 2,000 years ago, he heard the Most High told him the number of the missiles that's going to be, or warheads. And thus I saw the horse in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and jacinth. These are like in brimstone, so these are like metal faculties. So he saw metallic missiles, like horses in array, like I read earlier in Joel. They're gonna be set up like horses for battle, because when in the ancient times when they went to battle, the first one to enter the war would be the horses, man, right there with its riders. And the riders in this sense is going to be the AI technology being controlled by these nations. They're going to be in formation. All right, like an army with drones, all kind of shit. And brimstone. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, man. A head of a lion, that's where the power is at, in the front, the warhead. All right, that's where the destruction comes from, with a lion. And out of their mouths, they issued fire and smoke and brimstone. That's why I said before them is fire. So out of their mouth, so out of the warhead, that's where the fire, the destruction is at. By these three are the third part of men killed, talking about the wicked. They're going to be killed by that. All right? By the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. So out of the front, out of the edge. That word mouth means edge. If you look it up, it says edge or tip of a sword. One moment. All right, this is the word mouth. And it says stoma, which means especially from the front or edge of a weapon. All right, so that's where the fire is going to come from. That's where the destruction is at, is in the tip of these weapons, the warheads. All right, so let's keep going. And it says, verse 19, for their power is in their mouth. Hey, you got it. All right. For their power is in their mouth. Okay, in the edge of these swords, the missiles, and their tails. So they have power in their tails as well, what's called nuclear propulsion. It's going to carry them all around the world, kilometers away to other countries. All right. Like it says, like an arrow being shot of a strong archer that go from one land to the next. That's from one continent to another continent. That's an intercontinental ballistic missile. A missile is something that's thrown or something that's thrown or propelled. All right, an object. So it says here, for their power is in their mouth, meaning the edge, with the warheads, and in their tails, right, the propulsion. For their tails were like unto serpents, right? It's leave that zigzag in the sky when they take off. And had heads, and with them they do hurt. See, with the warheads, they do hurt, man. That's where the destruction is at, from the warheads being released. All right. That's right, man. So let me get the scripture real quick. Right, end it here. He heard the number of them, and it was 200 million. All right. There you go. Because this is prophecy. It's going to happen. Though it tarry, wait for it, for it will surely come. You know, they're hoping to discourage with their media. All right, so it says here, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 20. In his severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, man. See, the Lord manifested his wrath and his anger into this weapon of mass destruction. All right, that the Lord chose for his judgment. The Lord could just send a blast of wind, according to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, or create some damn monster or something to destroy this place. But instead, the Lord chose prophecy. The Lord chose to use man to go against man, just like he brought up Nebuchadnezzar against us. He sent nations against nations. The Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomsoever he will, controlling the hearts of kings and their scientists and their generals and physicists, which goes into science, to bring about the Lord's weapon of destruction, the waste to destroy us. All right. It says, the world shall fight with him against the unwise. All right, that goes into the third part of man, the wicked. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad and from the clouds. So the chariot's going to be zapping this place too, man. The angels are going to be in the midst to see the destruction. You know, it's going to be like War of the Worlds. As from a well-drawn bow, you're going to be zapping. Shoo, 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 shoo. It said, defending also he shall deliver. So you're going to be delivering the elect at the same time. As from a well-drawn bow shall they fly to their mark, man. All right. Even the missiles, they're going to fly to their mark, and they're going to land on their targets. That's from a well-drawn bow. That's the chariots and the missiles destroying this place. And hailstones, here you go. There go the hailstones. That's the warheads. And hailstones full of wrath, full of fire and this, nuclear enrichment. You know, what do they call that? Right, it's called uranium, the uranium enrichment. And basically manipulating other elements. It says, as a rule of, it says, how explosive is uranium? It's more explosive, and they have plutonium in there as well. Especially when you put it inside of a metal and seal it and build pressure around it, like warheads. As a rule of thumb, the complete fission, you got fusion, then you got fission, dealing with nuclear uranium. The same process dealing with the sun, fission. Of 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds, right? About 2 pounds of it, just a 2-pound warhead of uranium or plutonium produces about 17.5 kilotons of TNT dynamite, equivalent explosive energy. 17 kilotons of dynamite. That's how powerful these are. 17 kilotons. I don't even know what the hell that. Sheesh. All right. It says, so yeah, that's what uranium. That's how powerful it's going to be. It says, what in his severe wrath shall he sharpen his sword? So sharpen means to equip or prepare it. All right. Wisdom of Solomon 5:22. And hailstones full of wrath, that's that uranium, shall be cast as out of a stone bow. And the Lord said all these things are going to be prepared upon the earth that he can use as a chastisement or destruction. Fire, the teeth of wild beasts, but fire is the main element that the Lord is going to use, the cleaning agent. And hailstones, warheads, full of wrath, shall be cast as out of a stone bow. What's that stone bow? These right here, the missiles. All right. And the water of the sea shall rage against them. That's going to be tsunamis. And the floods shall cruelly drown them, man. Russia has missiles that called Poseidon that can just hit the side of a country and cause tsunami. That can, they said they call it the toilet bowl effect. That'll drown half the country. But this one said what? Yea, a mighty wind. See, it's going to be nuclear. The wind, what you call it, nuclear fallout. When you see the mushroom cloud, the winds is what's going to separate the body, and the fire is what's going to melt them, and the heat is what's going to destroy them, and the fire is what's going to burn their holes in their eyes and burn their tongue in their damn mouth. All their organs. The organs go first, just like in the atomic bombs that were dropped in World War II over Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. It burnt their holes in their eyes. It destroyed the organs first, the soft organs, the soft parts. So that's all scriptural, man. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand. It said the flood's going to cruelly drown them. Yea, a mighty wind, right? It's a destroying wind. But the Lord is holding back the wind so the elect could be sealed, man. That's it. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. So that's how the Lord going to bring the mighty down. He's going to destroy them with ill dealing, which is war. All right. So all kind of means of destruction is going to be upon the earth. It's upon the earth now. It's coming quickly. He said, "Behold, I come quickly." All right. So yeah, man. Man is trying to throw a smoke screen. Hey, it'd be 2035, 2050. Nah, the Lord is shortening that time. You can see things moving quick if you got eyes to see it. All right, things are moving according to the elect being sealed and according ultimately to the Father's will. All right, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. With them, and they say, Shalom, I hope you're edified.